So is this market crashing, or is it going to continue to be a firestorm? That's what we're talking about right now. Believe it or not, not every home stays on the market just a few hours or a few days. There's some homes that stay on market 40 plus days. I actually see a couple that are on market over a year, and there's a lot of reasons why. That's what we're talking about today. We're talking about a bunch of different reasons why your house may not sell. So let's get started. Make sure you stay to the end because we have a bonus tip for you. Number one is obviously overpricing the property. Now, every agent worth their salt will tell you this is the strategy to sell your house. And it's listed a little bit lower, 5% under property, the actual expected value, to drum up as much business or as much buzz or as many eyeballs as possible. If you overprice that property, you're lowering the number of eyeballs that will be interested in that house. So remember, if you keep your house listed just below the market, you're going to attract the right number of buyers. You're going to attract the right kind of buyers that are looking for your specific house. Price has a lot to do with it, but there's other strategies that we do to make sure that we get you to the goal. Number two is not allowing showings. I have a listing right now, and it's very difficult for us to show houses. I have to ask for permission for pretty much every showing. Not that they don't want to show it, it's just that they do a lot of work at home. When you're selling a house, you have to be a little bit more flexible. Understand that allowing these types of things to happen will help prevent a stall in selling your house. Number three, staging. Now, we sell a lot of houses, and I can tell you, for example, that there's houses that we sell where the seller is adamant about not using staging. They like their own furniture, or they don't want to pay for the extra cost. It's an added cost, and I totally get that. But I tell you, it's just experience-wise, the house looks better, it shows better, and on pictures, it looks so much better. It looks like a model home when you do that. We have other things that we could do, like a 360 walking tour, and the 2D floor plan and a video walkthrough. But even then, you don't really capture the depth in any kind of pictures or photos or videos when it's vacant. Number four is seeing dollar signs. Now, I always say that, don't see dollar signs, because you see the little ching, like Mr. Krabs, SpongeBob, he's always thinking about money. Sometimes when it's just about money, you lapse or you miss what's really important. And sometimes if you're looking through a contract, which I show every contract that comes through, and I put it on a little spreadsheet, I scrape out the variables that are really important, like the contingencies, the close time, how much down payment, which bank or lender we're using, all that kind of stuff. And I have it on a dashboard for my sellers to see. I also send it the second I see it, and I'm capable of seeing that offer. When I have the time, I scrape through each contract and make sure that it is what it seems to be, that there's nothing outlying. Number five, and reiterates that same story, jumping on an impossibly perfect offer. If it's too good to be true, there's something that's going to be wrong in there. Buyers agents have a job to really sell the buyers and the contract, and making sure that we let the seller know that we're going to make this as stress-free as possible. Sometimes there's stuff that might be inside that contract that look at what it really means. So when you're looking through contracts, and you as a seller really need to understand the contract and understand all the little loopholes and things that could happen. It's the agent's job to point things out. This is your house, this is your money, so make sure you understand it. Going back to the story, when that person found that one little thing, it was obviously buyer's remorse, because the house was beautiful, completely remodeled, everything from floor to ceiling. The roof was beautiful. One little tiny thing, it was buyer's remorse, and it was one thing. And here's the thing, if you go to arbitration or mediation, depending on your state, it could go months without resolution, and then they could favor the buyer because you didn't disclose one little tiny thing, and that's a possibility. All right, 7, and remember, we have one more after this. Trying to sell your house on your own. I've helped friends do that so I can help them not have to pay a commission, and it winds up being so arduous that it sucks me into it. Because they're my friends, I'm not going to stall them, but here's the thing, you're going to use a buyer's agent, because they're going to want their commission if they're representing their buyer. So you have to cop that up as well. So why not spend a little bit extra money and have that protection and have that knowledge and have that guide, the Sherpa, to help you, regardless if you're going to use an agent or not. You have to understand that there's contract law, there's disclosure law, there's a lot of other costs that are involved. And yes, there's a big, huge cost when you're using an agent. Walk through the entire process, because it's really our job to be unemotional, professional negotiators for you, to understand the contract, to make sure that everything's disclosed, to make sure that we do everything right for you. Okay, bonus tip number 8, the bonus tip here. Assuming that the market will last forever. It won't. And as a matter of fact, we're seeing rates go up to 5.5 right now. We're talking about going to 6. This is May timeframe of 2022. We have crazy inflation, high gas prices. Housing is going crazy high still, but the stock market's starting to crash. I'm not losing buyers, but buyers I'm working with are on the fence right now. They're actually getting off the other side of the fence, saying, I'm going to wait for my stock market to come back or my stocks to come back. People that work at these tech companies, they're like, hey, I'm not doing so well, so we're going to hold off. It actually started happening like in December, January. We were hot to trot, starting to look at houses, and all of a sudden, hey, my stock just took a dump. I'm going to hold off a little bit and see what happens. And because the rates went up, the interest rates went up almost twice, now it becomes less affordable. So if you could afford $1 million house, now you can afford maybe a $600,000 house, and you're stretching. What we're telling people is this is actually a good time. If it does slow down over the summer, we really do want the market to not crash. So understand that the market won't last forever. We don't know if this is going to be a down market, a crash, or just a hiccup. And then all of a sudden 2019 kind of ticked up a little bit, and then we shut down for a little bit for 2 months, 3 months during the first part of COVID, and everything just stalled because we couldn't go outside of the houses. And then all of a sudden, once we opened up, the market just took off like a wildfire, firestorm. Now, because of all that, we had great interest rates, we had great market, we had great stock market, we had people working. Now we have the great resignation and all this other stuff. There's got to be this time when we have to reset all this. And this market possibly could be right now or the next couple months. And if it goes down, who knows? It could be like a 5-year huge thing. I don't think it's going to be that bad. There's too many people out there making a lot of money. The economy's still going to go. Don't assume that the market's going to last. I can tell you that. So anyway, there's your 8 things sellers watch out for when selling their home. All right, before you leave, I want you to make sure that you watch this next video. 10 things you should never say to a real estate agent. It talks about all the different things, a little bit of etiquette, a little bit of protocol, and how to make your buying experience a great success. I'm Vito Scarnecchia with the Abitano Group, powered by Compass. We'll see you out there.